Welcome to my first ever Warhammer 40K video. In this video I'm gonna be focusing on my beginnings in this hobby. I will show you how I started, what did I buy, where did I buy, for how much I bought it, and when did I start it. And this video is going to be split in two, I would call two different parts, but it's going to be in this one video. Basically the first half video is gonna be about my journey, how I started, what I did, and all my findings along the way. It will be like the first months of me starting, so it won't be the entire journey. I could show the entire journey in the next videos and so on, and give my updates on my armies and everything. But that's going to be the first half of the video, and the second half of the video is going to be my buyer's guide, I would call it, what to buy at this very moment if you would start a Warhammer 40k right now. So let's get down to it.
There is only war.
So why did I decide to make this video? I have been in love, I could call it, with Warhammer 40k for over a year and a half, I think. Maybe it's coming to 2 years at this moment, I think. And I always like to make content. I always like to make YouTube videos, and I love this. I love the Warhammer universe and everything. Like I said, I am in there for a year and a half. I've been eating on books, miniatures, paintings, games, tutorials, everything. I've been like trying to consume the whole experience of Warhammer 40k. And that's why I wanted to make this video. I wanted to always make a video about Warhammer 40k, and I decided to make it finally when I finally feel like I have enough experience, enough knowledge to make this video. So that's why I didn't do like the start video, how I start collecting the first months, but it took me a year and a half to, you know, show you what I did, how I did. I have everything, every pictures, everything put together, and you can see even my entire journey here. So we'll start when I started. I started collecting Warhammer 40k with Warhammer 40k, getting started with Warhammer magazine, as you can see it on your screen right now. It was the collect, build, paint, play magazine that it was like at the beginning. I found the Warhammer 40k on YouTube, probably by some content creator. I maybe saw Westhammer or someone like that, you know, on YouTube, and I was like, hell, that's a pretty cool universe, you know. I like these miniatures, that looks cool. So I was like, this is not so pricey. So I bought this in when was it? It was November 26th, November 22. So 2022. So it's 2 years ago, basically. But if you look in the months, it's a year and a half. So it was this winter 2022. I started with this magazine. I bought it. I basically looked what it is. I don't know, this is the funny thing, I don't know what I did with my Necron miniature, with the Necron guy. I maybe never built him because I was more interested at that moment into Space Marine. So I got into the building. I bought the magazine, it came in 2 days. It was here from the shop. I bought it. As you can see in the picture, you can see me painting it in the colors I had at home. I didn't have any paints, and before I used to only paint tanks from like history tanks. I have T-34 and some other tanks from the history of World War II and so on. So I used the paints I had at home. I painted this guy. It was black. I still have him right now in my hands on my desk next to my computer. He's in like a black gray setup. It was the Assault Intercessor in there in the magazine, and it was a great experience. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool miniature. And I started digging into the Warhammer universe, what to buy, what to look. I started to look for buyer's guides back then, even now, because one thing you need to know about me, I like the deals. I always wanna buy something for the best price. Of course, sometimes you see something and you go like, holy shit, this is beautiful. I want this. I want this right now. But usually, I want to get the most bang for the buck. So that's why I decided to start with what I decided to start. So the first thing, as you can see, was the Command Edition starter in 2022. I bought it November, October, November, in November. So yeah, I started in October. I bought this in November. So basically, I had the one miniature I built. I had it like for 12 days. I bought this for 120 euros back then. So back then, this cost me 120 euros, and I can truly, honestly say it was the best decision to start with. It was the greatest start I could have. You have everything in this box. It was perfect. It was just perfect to every little bit of detail. Why? Because you get in there. If I have I have a close-up of these guys, what's inside the box. So basically you get the terrain, which is beautiful. I think it's my favorite terrain even now. I do 3D print terrains now, but that terrain was so nice. I like it. It's perfect. I still use it. Perfect terrain. And the armies you get in there, awesome. Back then they were like, these guys are okay. But now they're pretty good. Like because the time passed and they weren't in so many sets, only the starters. They are getting more valuable, these miniatures. Like the captain with the shield and a sword, pretty valuable guy. Like he's hard to get at this moment, you know. So the setup for Space Marines was pretty awesome. You got the bike guys who work pretty quick. You get the captain, and you got the 5 assault marines, which were close quarters. Basically, this entire army was focused to the close quarters more. With the Necrons, which is pretty good army at this moment. Even back then, I was more focused on Space Marines still, but I wanted to have bad guys in my army too, because I could then fight with my friends and try to learn the game. So it was good with the starter set that you get 2 different armies, you get 2 different opponents. You can start learning, even if you don't have friends, which would be sad. But hey, you can find people to play this all over the places if you want. You know, hook me up if you live in Slovakia. I'm willing to play. So if you didn't have friends, at least you have 2 armies. You can even learn by yourself playing both armies. You learn the enemies. Necrons, pretty awesome. I like them. The freaking destroyer guys. The close combat, spidery looking dudes, they were pretty awesome. The warriors, pretty awesome. The scarabs, pretty awesome. Even the general with his Techion arrow that you can shoot once by a game. Pretty awesome set. Pretty beautiful, pretty nice. They gave you the rules. They gave you everything you need. The dice is everything. Awesome start. A lot of points. Very happy with it. And for 120 euros with all the terrain and everything, pretty nice. I say pretty nice. So this was the first thing I bought. With this, I bought the paint and tool set. And this is what I'm gonna say now, and a lot of people will not like it, but I always buy paints and tool sets. Like you get the, I would say, very good palette of colors in here. You get them for very good discounted price. You get tools. So it's amazing. You get tools, you get paints, and it's all discounted for a very good price if you think about it. So many times, even when I run like out of 2 colors, out of the whole tool set, I buy another tool set because it's cheaper for me to get it with that discount, with that big of a discount, than buying separately those 2 paints to refill. So I have, at this moment in my collection, I think I went through 3 or 4 paints and tool sets. Free, definitely free. So yeah, I always buy paints and tool sets. They have good colors and everything. Now there's a different one, updated one with now it's 10th edition. Back it was 9th edition. It was Necrons, the main bad guys. Now it's the Tyranids, so you get more Tyranid colors, which is awesome. I'm happy I have new colors, you know. So yeah, this was my beginning. Even back then, like I said, I wanted to make video. This is why I have this picture of me opening the box of the first time. I even remember recording me opening the box. I remember that, but it was so awkward because I didn't know the names of the people. I didn't know the bits, the thing. I was like, oh, this looks like some building. This looks like this marine guy, marine on bike. This boss guy, you know. I didn't know, and then I was like, this is baddie number 1. This is a spider-looking baddie number 2. So it was very awkward video, and I never posted it, and I never made it because, like I said, I wanted to wait when I have experience, and yeah, but it was, like I said, I think it was the best start for me. This is me painting my first miniatures. I couldn't wait, like first, and I went with the original scheme, Ultramarines. I went with the original poster boys, the Ultramarines. I started with the Assault Intercessors. As on the internet they said you should start with a white primer, so I put first the white coat, which I did put a lot of because back then I didn't know how to thin paints and stuff like that. So yeah, they're not the most beautiful, let's be honest, but they're not bad. Then I went with blue, of course, because it's the Ultramarines, and then I started working on the colors, like adding reds, then maybe silver and so on. Here you can even see my first ever guy, like I said, the black and silver and gray guy with the team, how I painted him, and then you can see the entire group finished without finished decals on them and without the ground being finished. So this was my first, I would call it my first group, first group finished, first small team finished, and these are my first 5. Yeah, so there were, yeah, it's a good memories, I would say. Then I went to primer. Then I googled how to primer everything. I bought the white spray and I primered the rest of the box so I could play with them, and then I started painting them. I remember I played this with my friend. He played usually the Necrons because I liked the Space Marines back then, even that I didn't know much of the lore. I always wanted to play my Space Marines, so we played against each other from the starter book they gave you in the box, which is pretty awesome. That's why I recommend starting with the starter sets, because they give you the startup newbie guide how to play, and it helps a lot. Warhammer 40K is very hard to learn. Too many rules, too many valuables in the game, and to have this thing that showed you like movement step by step, finding step by step, and everything, like back then, everything you needed to know, it was awesome. We started playing at 10 in the afternoon and we ended like 4 in the morning, like the sun started coming up. It was crazy. So yeah, my first 2 armies were Ultramarines and Necrons, but it was around 300 to 350 points, I think. And it was awkward point-wise, but back then I started the thing and I didn't know how many points you need to play, what is the usual point count of armies, and so on. So then I finally got into the lore. I finally found a chapter that I liked from Space Marines, and I was like, these guys I like. These guys are really cool. And I went with Space Wolves. The freaking Viking Space Marines, Space Doodads was awesome for me looking. I liked, they are wolves, they are Vikings, it was just I loved them. I loved the scheme, everything, the colors. I loved it. At the same time, I'm gonna say this was my first big mistake in purchasing, you could call it. Why? The Space Wolves Combat Patrol sucks. It does suck. I bought it for back then for 94.74 euros, so almost 95 euros, let's say, which is compared to for what prices I buy at this moment. And I try to go even lower prices at this moment because I know what prices I can find it on internet or Facebook marketplaces and so on. I try to go lower prices, and for what it is, the Space Wolves Combat Patrol sucks. Why? Let's go into it. It has 10 intercessors, which, you are not the greatest and are not like chapter specific, so Then it has the Invictor Tactical Warsuit, which is good. That's only good miniature out of the entire box. This is what I'm gonna say. It is a good miniature. It is very nice. It is a crowd control big guy that can take a hit and can kill easy targets that have a lot of miniatures, but not a lot of toughness. So you can't fight it with big tough guys, but you can like crowd control, literally killing a lot of miniatures that are weak. So it's pretty good miniature. It can take a hit, and it's very nice. But then you had the Hounds of Mordkai, which suck. And the only chapter specific thing in here was the freaking Wolfguard pack leader, which honestly I don't use at all. He sucks so much. He's so bad. His rules are the worst. It's a nice miniature. It's a good looking miniature, but that's it. I should have started with a different combat patrol and maybe just buy the Space Wolf upgrades. It would be better. But like I said, I didn't know back then. I was a newbie. I didn't look up. I just wanted Space Wolves and I bought them. If I started with Dark Angels, that was a good combat patrol, or Dark Angels, Blood Angels, they had pretty good combat patrol, But this one, it was bad. But it was what it was. It was nice. I got my my Space Wolves, and then I found out that I am on the 500 point scale with this. And the rest of my two armies that I had at the moment, I had the Necrons, Ultramarines, and then now I was starting Space Wolves. I found out that I can't play them together because either I lower my Space Wolves to 300 points, something like that, or I upgrade my other guys to 500. So I was like, and then I googled what is played, and usually back then, the most played games was 1000 points armies and 500 points combat patrols fighting. And I was like, okay, we go 500 points then. So I bought, and this was a good decision again, Recruit Edition starter set. And this was hands down good decision by me. I think I did good with this because yes, it is similar to Command Edition very much because you get in there very similar units, but the leaders of those units are unique for these lower editions, which are very nice. You get the Lieutenant, and you get the other guy from the Necrons that I don't remember his name, but he's the shooty guy that you put with warriors, and when he's there, they can even shoot and retreat at the same round. At least that was the last time I played his ability, special ability, and the plus for him. So these two guys were pretty good, and with the Lieutenant and the Assault Intercessors, I was unable to push it to 500 points, and with the Necrons too, to 500 points on both armies, which made it for me to have 3 armies of 500 points, which was amazing. So I could play with multiple people. We could play like 1v1v1, like trio game, and that was the idea, to have 3 armies so my other friends could join. And yeah, so on. So I got into the painting. As you can see here, I painted my Space Wolves. I played with the snow thingy that you can get I think it's called Valhan Blizzard from Citadel. this was literally the first Space Marine for the Space Wolves I finished. I really enjoyed him. I love my Space Wolves. Like, I really did. They were my go-to army, my favorite army, and I still have big heart for them, and I still love them. But they moved more in the... They changed a bit, you could call it at the moment. They are way different than they used to be. But yeah, some things stayed there, many things. But I got rid of the Pack Leader, like I said, the only guy that was literally chapter specific, but was the shittiest. I got rid of him. Even the Hounds of Mordecai, because they suck. I got rid of them too. The big Invictor Tactical Warsuit, useful, so I kept it. And the Space Marines, you need the crowd, you need the people who can take the points, so yeah, I kept them. And so yeah, I had these 3 armies all ready or painted or half painted, and then we went for our first game for our first proper freeway game where we said everyone's against everyone. We put the capture points in. You can see the picture with my friends here. We played, like I said, Space Wolf, Ultramarines, and then the Necrons on the top corner. It was a lot of fun. We enjoyed it. I think I have one more picture from that game, which was like who was capturing what. The capture point was this thing that we made of back then. I was making ground out of anything, I didn't have 3D printer back then. I found like what is this in the middle? A tray from cookies. I turned it around, put some bullshit, put some color on it, and make it look like industrial something, to make it looking enough for to be a terrain. So, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. We enjoyed it, and that was my beginnings. This was literally my first 2 months of Warhammer. I think I did very good with the Command Edition and Recruit Edition combo with the paints and tool sets. I always enjoy them. Like I said, the one big mistake was the Space Wolves Combat Patrol, but sometimes we do those things when you want something really badly and you buy it. So yeah, that happens. But yeah, I would say from that point on, I try to go for the bang for the buck usually. And yeah, but sometimes your heart goes and it makes you go and buy that, and you want that thing, you want that unit, and they cost separately many times a lot of money. So yeah, this is my beginnings, how you can maybe learn from it. And now we can move into the second part of the video. Like I promised, what would I buy at this moment if I had to start now, and what would I look for? What are my tips and what to do now? What would I do if I would be starting at this very moment? What would I buy? You saw my journey, how I went, so you have to go with that mindset of me thinking I want to have probably 2 armies straight away so I could fight them. I could fight with each other with those armies. If you have a friend who has already Warhammer 40K army, maybe you just need 1 army. It depends on your scenario what you need, but this is my buyer's guide. It's April 1st, 24, so if you're watching this and I don't know, a year later, it might be outdated, so keep that in mind. So let's get down to it. First thing, I would look into it, I would go with the starter sets. The starter sets are usually the best bang for the buck. They give you the things to learn. They give you everything, dices, measures basically, yeah. They give you even data cards, they give you terrains and stuff. That's why this year's the 10th edition Ultimate Starter Set would be probably the best start. It's not the best, but could be the best. It depends. but I will get into it. So you get in the Ultimate Starter set, you get of course the main bad guy of the 10th edition, which is Tyranids, and you get the main guys, or the poster boys they call them, the Space Marines, which is awesome. Of course, you don't have to, like me, paint them the ultramarine color. You can go whatever color you want, whatever chapter you want. In this set, you get Infernus Marines, which basically is very close to normal Space Marines, but they are like more close quarter ones. Then you get the Terminators, which is a very good squad to have. You get the Terminator Captain, a very good captain, and the Librarian, which is all 4 of these units, very good units. And as you get kind of nice terrain. It's not much, but it's nice. It's nice looking terrain, and you get a very big assortment of Tyranids. You get a lot of Tyranids in here, which is very nice. You get the freaking, what do you call it? The guys that can shoot. I don't know all the name of them. The Barbagons, the Termagons, 20 of them. You get the small swarm guys. You get the flying guy, which he's like map control dude. Then you get I call him the big sorcerer, the big sorcerer turn, and then you get the Von Ryan Reapers, which are basically the only, I could call it, meta things for close quarters in the set. But it's a very good assortment. You get everything you need to start with. You can learn with it. You don't get a lot of points if you look at it. But, for the beginning, then you can expand as I did. But this would be the best start as of this moment, I think. But, and this is keeping in mind, if you can find it, because they are running out, they've been running out for a while, get a Leviathan box. Basically, it's a better version of the starter set. The one thing you will miss out in here is the terrain. You will lose on the terrain. You don't get terrain with this, which it's okay. You can 3D print like in the beginning. You can use anything you have at home. Search on internet, people made with toilet paper rolls terrains. It's easy to make terrain, let's be honest. If you don't feel too fancy and you have the possibility, they are almost everywhere sold out because they've been out for a long time. What I found out, some stores, not the original Warhammer store, but like the other outlets, they tend to have at least sometimes one of these. In Slovakia, they are still available to get, which is fine. I would recommend maybe looking in Facebook marketplaces. You could go you can find the communities if you are from different continents, England, Ireland, Germany, wherever. You find a community for that country, and maybe there will be people that buy multiple of these. They were like, oh, I'm gonna buy them so I could build them, and now they have, let's say they bought 2. I bought 2 myself, to be honest. I already built my entire Leviathan one, and the other one I keep for the future that I want. I will go like, oh, this used to be 2023 Warhammer, So maybe there are people that have the extra Leviathan. You can buy it for a very good price, and the most important, in here you get 1,000 point of each army. So basically you get 1,000 point of each army, which in my scenario, I built all my armies on 1,000 points. So basically at this moment, before I started making this video, I counted all my armies. I am working on 15 armies, which of 13 of them are 1,000 points. So at home, at this moment, I have 13,000 points of Warhammer miniatures and 14,000 in total, because 2 of those army are only 500 points that I'm still working to find extra 500 to finish them. So yes, I am in big financial debt. So Leviathan box, go for it. You get the big guys, the strong guys. You get awesome new miniatures like the freaking Dreadnought, awesome. The freaking Sterngun veterans are very nice. In here you get the I don't even remember. The Nero Tyrant, very nice guy. The freaking big guy that always dies for me because everyone wants to kill him. He's very good when he gets to enemy, but that's his problem. He needs to get there first, so... Leviathan box is go-to box. If you see it, marketplace, any store you have that sells Warhammer in your local area, go for it. I really recommend it. If I remember, when I was starting back then, there was the Dark Age of something, the old box, and it had the Necrons and it was the starter like this, but it was like Necrons and the Space Marine again. And I missed out on it because it was like very pricey. Let's be honest, these boxes are a little bit more pricier, but the discount in there is very big. And now that I look retrospective in the history, when I didn't buy it, I really feel bad on missing out on this because it was bad. So if you have the possibility and you want 2 armies so you could learn, or maybe you have a friend who wants to start too, you can buy this box for each other. You know, you'll like buy just this box and you both separate. One of you takes Tyranids, one of you takes Space Marines, and awesome, you will have amazing savings. You have 1,000-point army ready to go. So Leviathan box, if you can get it, go for it. Then chapter specific, if we go if you want chapter specific, always go for combat patrols, like I said. But with Space Marines, I said it in this video already. If you go chapter specific, you just want Space Marine and you don't want to invest this Leviathan or starter set, you can go with these 2 combat patrols and change it to whatever chapter you want. Which I recommend are Blood Angels. You get very good miniatures in here. You get the library and you get the big vehicle. You get 5 normal intercessors, then you get the incursors, which are awesome to control the ground on the map, and then you get the executioners, or what they are called at this moment, aggressors, and those guys very strong for close quarters, very awesome. So Blood Angels, combat patrol, and then just buy the transfers and change them to whatever chapter specific you want, or the old Dark Angels. At this very moment, there is a new Dark Angels combat patrol coming out. The problem with it is it sucks. It is what it is. It sucks. I think it really do suck. And a lot of YouTubers go like, "Oh, this is very nice looking." The only nice looking in the new Dark Angel combat, this is just my opinion. Feel free to express your opinion down in comments, by the way. The only good thing in there is the veteran thing, 3 dudes in there in the new one. But in the old one, you get a freaking Redempted Dreadnought. Awesome miniature, awesome vehicle type guy, strong, can take a hit, can give a hit. Awesome. Then you get freaking the Inceptors, control the map. They are fast and they can punch. Like they have the stopping power. You can build them either with the bolters, which is basically guys that can reduce small groups of weak enemies, or you can go with the plasmas, so you can pack a punch even into heavier enemies. Then you get normal intercessors, because why not? Normal intercessors are good to have at least some. And then you have the freaking, what you call him, I don't remember. the monk priest, basically. I really lost the word for it. The Space Marine priest, which is very nice miniature, honestly. All of these miniatures are pretty awesome. Like I said, you can buy them the transfers and upgrade them to whatever chapter you want. Even Dark Angels chapter is pretty cool, so it's up to you guys what you want. So this would be if you want Space Marines. If you go, I don't know, something else, Gene Stealer Cult, you go freaking Leagues of Voten and so on. Always try to go for the combat patrols because you have the biggest savings. Don't buy the miniatures separately. If you want to upgrade your armies in the future with a separate miniature buying, like you need one specific miniature, if you need to do that, I would recommend go Facebook Marketplace, find Warhammer community in your local area, and try to find someone who's selling there. Because if you don't, then you will lose a lot of money on those special miniatures. And if you're not in a super hurry, you are right now discovering Warhammer 40K. You don't have much of money, but you want to make the best investment you can, the best start you can. This is the best start. I could recommend just wait for Christmas battle boxes. This year, I'm going to show you this year's battle boxes. You can see them here. They were pretty amazing. I liked them. They weren't as amazing, I would say, as the last year's, but they were pretty nice. If you wanted to start any of these armies, they were perfect. Of course, maybe the next year ones won't jingle your bells, you could call it, because they won't hit the army you want. This year we had the freaking War Leaders, Leagues of Votan, Tyranids, Orcs, then Astro Militarum, which was for me very nice, and the Space Marine one. They all were pretty nice. The Space Marine one sucked. Okay, let's be honest. That one sucked. The Tyranid one, for me, the Tyranid and Space Marine sucked because I had the miniatures for Tyranid one. But the Tyranid one, if you bought the Leviathan and then you wanted to upgrade your Leviathan army, then you would buy this Tyranid Christmas box. And always these savings on these boxes is amazing, by the way. Very amazing. This year I bought the Cadian Defense Astro Militarum. I started my Astro Militarum with this box. Amazing box. Love it. Perfect. And then I started even my War Leaders with the Exilated of the Red Angel, which was sold out instantly. So if you want a Christmas box, you wait for Christmas, don't hesitate. Because many times, if it's a high demand box, people will hunt it down in a matter of hours. Not even days sometimes. Hours. I think in 3 hours, maybe I'm saying bullshit, but if I remember correctly, the Exilated of the Red Angel was gone from Warhammer store in 3 hours this year, which was insane. The Beast Naga Stampede, very nice army too. And what I heard, I am not into Leagues of Votan, I don't collect them, but what I heard from the friends that do collect them, they said they liked it. The box is very nice. It has nice vehicles, nice ornament of soldiers. They were happy with it. So, like I said, the best thing to start with, either starter sets, either new specific edition set like Leviathan this year, or the Christmas boxes, if you want the biggest bang for the bucks. Of course, you can start even going on a marketplace, like you can buy an army from someone else. You can get very good discounts on that too. I wouldn't recommend it though, because if you're starting, you wanna get into into all that painting, all building, and you don't know many times what armies do what. So sometimes the people who sell the miniatures online can sometimes sell outdated old miniatures, and you wouldn't know that they're outdated. They're like the last gen and they are not used anymore, or there are no rules for them. So that's why I don't recommend to start with armies from secondhand. So it depends what's your situation. Like I said, if you have all the time in the world, you're still getting in, and you are not like me, you have to buy it now, you have to have it at your place now, then go for the Christmas boxes. If you want the biggest bang for the buck, try to find Leviathan. If not, and you want to learn the best way, the Ultimate Starter set is pretty nice. And if you want something chapter specific, go with specific combat patrols. That's my recommendation. That's the start. I hope you have the best start you can. I hope you can learn from my mistakes, from my journey. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to feel free to write down into comments. I would like to see your opinion, your ideas, what to do, what would be the best. And hey, Oh, I hopefully will see maybe your future picks of your armies. Maybe I inspire you to do whatever and buy the Christmas box or some specific, let's say, Blood Angel Combat Patrol and do them into Death Watch. It's up to you guys. Have a good luck and see you hobbying, guys. Bye bye.
I'm OG, y'all new to the game.